G'day, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're doing right, 'cause it's time for the 48-hour analysis. Basically, in this video, I'm going to look at all the skins in the current Rust store. I'm going to make comparisons to previous Rust store skins to get a good idea in regards to, well, how much each of these skins are likely to sell by next Thursday. And then knowing that, we'll then question, are these skins still holding up to being perfectly fine investments, or are there any potential problems that you need to be aware of? So sit back and relax. I'm going to start yapping. First 24 hours of sales, I'm not surprised to see hologram furnaces on top. So what we have here is the first Rust store just after Easter. No more holiday skins to worry about, not until Halloween at the very least. Where's all the clothing and the armor? I won't go down that road again, but yeah. Quite surprising to see a lack of that. We did still see some pretty interesting deplorables, some pretty interesting weapons and tools. Hologram furnace, you have a very interesting, creative bit of transparency, a lovely shade of blue, but just under 12,000 subscribers, which to be honest with you is quite a lot. But not too long ago, we did happen to have another furnace skin that was interesting and transparent as well. That other furnace, it did sell quite a lot, didn't it? And this hologram furnace, it doesn't look as if it's going to sell as much as that. So, all right, we've got a pretty interesting comparison to do already. Now, following that, with the other top 4 skins that we saw right over to here, well, Skip Executable AK-47, a very interesting shiny design. Could that potentially turn into a brand new weapon collection? Oh, okay, we'll talk about that in a bit, but yes, just over 10,000 subscribers. Wrecker Salvaged Axe, the second ever Salvaged Axe skin to be accepted. Nice and sharp. Could there be more to it though? We'll see. Just under 9,000 subscribers right there. And then we have the Gothic Veil Sheep Metal Double Door, just under 8,000 subscribers. I said it in my Rust rotation video. I can't help but assume when we eventually see the crypt building skin, this will probably slot in with that very, very nicely. So, okay. Could we also see a potential collection with that? Now, to my surprise, the collection continuations, Abyss Jackhammer, Popstar MP5, like, not the top selling skins. Not selling that much either. Okay, well, there's a discussion. Then we also happen to have the money bed, the rose rug, the cool looking wooden door, the paraffin locker, and the very protective barbecue. Like, overall, the first Rust store just after Easter, sales aren't too ridiculous. But if we were to compare to what we saw the previous 2 weeks, the Easter Rust stores, oh, we're basically already doing better. So we'll showcase that to you in a second as well. But yeah, it's fine. Considering the player count right now, it is April. We're technically still in the Easter dip. Less people playing, like for example, in comparison to January. We should expect to see lower sales. And when it's like the summertime, when it's like January time, we tend to see much higher sales, usually. So, okay, cool. How about we go over to here right now and see the first 48 hours of sales. Although I should say, let's just refresh again, we're like 47.5. I wanted to get this out of the way. I apologise. But I don't think the sales we see will be that much different. So, alright, cool. So, yeah. Look at the sales we see right now and just look at the previous Rust stores. Excluding that, yeah, it's pretty obvious that people don't really care about Easter skins. So, okay. At least it's better than what we see over to here. So, hopping back, looking at you. Yeah, sales are looking pretty sweet. Considering the prices, don't forget, every single skin here is abnormal, except the rug, yeah? All of them technically are higher prices than what you usually might see for a furnace or an AK and whatnot. It's not too bad. Now, who knows what we might see next week, next month, in a few months. But for what we have, I think people are still pretty pleased with what we got. I do still believe if we had some clothing armor, maybe it would be a little bit better overall. Maybe the next Rust store only consists of clothing armor. Hedge, you said you're going to stop. All right, I'm going to try. How about we actually go ahead now, look at all these skins, and try and figure out how much each of them are likely to sell by next Thursday. Hologram Furnace, a very interesting, transparent approach, a very nice glow-in-the-dark design, and by all means, please consider watching my Rust rotation video to get a much better look at that. But let's go to the comment section, because I actually just straight up asked the skin creators, hey, what are you considering next? Michael says, well, we're probably going to do a bed or a large box. That should be this weekend, so keep an eye out. All right. I think a large box would probably go very nicely. I think these guys could actually pull off a sheet metal door and a garage door, sheet metal double door. You get the idea, but the transparency probably would only have to be on the bottom. They can provide alternate versions. We'll see what they get up to, but that might not be happening for a while, okay? They can't be too pay to win. They can't go too far, otherwise Face Punch would be like, nope. Alright, cool. Oh, there's Montana as well. Yep, of course they plan to make a collection. Of course, I don't blame them. It's a nice looking design, and I want to see that in some other deplorables. What would you, the viewer, like to see being made next, if you could ask? Well, consider commenting below. So, cool. So right now, 17,500 subscribers, but let's hop back. With the first 24 hours of sales, you had just over 11,500 sales, yes, or more specifically, 11,700. But what do we want to compare to? What was I kind of already comparing to as I talked a little bit earlier? Well, I was referencing the Storm Cloud Furnace. With the first 24 hours of sales, that had over 14,000 subscribers. So, yeah, that sold quite a little bit more. But if we could just look at the likes of the Training Tactical Gloves and the Apotheosis of War Armored Double Door, yeah, our Hologram Furnace did just under 12,000 subscribers, but I don't see anything that came out somewhat recently that did similar numbers. But what we can do is look at this, look at these, and kind of go in between. So, okay, cool, yeah, that might work. So let's go ahead and do just that. Let's go back to March 12, I believe. There we go. Yeah, Apotheosis of War actually eclipsed the Training Gloves. But as you can see, Storm Cloud Furnace, that went all the way up to just over 35,000 subscribers. And I know some of you are going to sit there and say, oh, wow, it's in the positive. Clearly it worked. Well, hold on a second. That's still not profitable. If you bought that at $2.49, I don't 100% remember the price you need to sell it for, but I'm pretty confident you need to sell it for more than $2.70 just to get your funds back after tax. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Anyway, it's still doing better compared to what we saw previously. So if we go further back, let's go ahead and do just that. Scroll. You might recall the UFO Abduction Furnace. Yeah, that's down by 54%. Almost 33,000 subscribers. And then, of course, you might recall we also happen to have the Ghost Furnace. That did over 70,000 subscribers. And yet, only slightly down in price. Okay, that's not too bad. So, okay, no complaints. But hopping back over to here, looking at the current progress so far, how far could Hologram Furnace go? I reckon that's going to probably do between 25 to 30,000 subscribers. Now, if we do happen to see a pretty interesting collection continuation being produced in the Rust Workshop this weekend, I have reason to believe that probably will be pushing up to 30, maybe even above. We'll see. But the previous transparent designs we've seen, yeah, they have sold a lot. And we should still expect the same with that. And if we do go up to 30,000, you know what? That is matching up to expectation. But if we keep seeing more and more and more transparent furnaces, they're not going to be so special anymore. But as I said, hey, if it gets a collection out of this, that should be doing pretty good. So, by all means, have you already bought one for yourself? Are you considering it? As I said in my predictions video, just wait it out. Wait till next Wednesday. Look at the sales. Do the abnormal barders first. Then consider making a purchase or, well, you know, buying 100 of them if you want to. But yeah, I have reason to believe we're probably going to see quite a lot more of this in the future because obviously it's successful. So, all right, cool. Keep an eye on the Rust Workshop over this weekend. Lots of potential collection continuations to look forward to. Let's now move on and talk about the Skip Executable AK-47. Lost my tongue there. To be honest with you, I think I might just go ahead and compare to the tactical gloves. Yeah, very similar. And this did sell quite a bit less compared to this, which of course sold less compared to that. So hopping back, let's get a good look at you again. Over to here. Yep. 25,000 subscribers though. But people clearly are liking this AK. So let's go get a good look at you real quickly. I believe this got fixed. If you saw my rust rotation video at night time when I stood next to the light, all the sheen, all the shine just basically disappeared. So skin creator is aware of it. I think it's been updated. Feel free to comment below if you've noticed any changes. Anyway, during the day, I know for a fact that it's very, very shiny. So, okay, you also happen to have a little bit of transparency. It's a pretty interesting approach. And we very likely could see a proper collection being built up from this. Did I ask a question? Let's see. I'm not sure if I did, but based on what I'm seeing here, I have reason to believe there will be more after this. So, of course, keep an eye on the workshop. Keep an eye out and see if there's any brand new Skip executable weapon skins being produced. Maybe tools. But based on what I'm looking at here, it's looking very similar to what we saw at the Deep Ruby AK-47. You might recall, yeah, very early last year. That also sold for a higher price. That did sell quite a lot. It did suffer for a while initially, but as time went on, when times were good, that was doing good. That recovered. As of now, it's gone back down a fair bit. But when we go through the summertime again, July, August, I would be surprised that bounces back up. So, looking at you, after looking at the training tactical gloves, I'm going to approach this with an assumption that this is going to probably do between 20 to 25,000 subscribers. I think it might slow down as we get closer and closer to 25,000. We'll see how that goes, all right? But if we do happen to see a collection continuation being produced, well, a lot more people might be a lot more motivated. A lot more people might be a lot more curious. So we'll keep an eye on that, all right? Again, this is also abnormal. Let's wait it out until Wednesday. Make considerations then. Wrecker Salvaged Axe. So I will point this out. Brand new skinnables issue. When more and more and more skins are accepted, the first few skins that are accepted initially, they won't look so special anymore. These are special because they are literally the only two options we have. But in about a year or two's time, do not be surprised if both of these are struggling and suffering. In fact, look at Carrot Chopper already. It's already down by half. Oof. So, okay, understood. But at the very least, how much is this likely to sell by next Thursday? Let's go ahead and do a comparison then. So, hopping back, we can see this that did just under 9,000 subscribers. Like, part of me wanted to go ahead and do a comparison with Hazmat Egg Garage Door, but you might recall the Rust rotated pretty late, and this did get quite a few extra sales in at the very last second. Maybe we could probably compare with the Raw Time Barbecue as well, which has a little bit less sales initially. So, right, cool. Let's go ahead and do just that. So, looking at the previous week, Hazmat Egg Garage Door, just over 26,000 subscribers, more specifically 26,600. And if we go quite further back, just over 19,000 subscribers for the Raw Time Barbecue. So I'm looking at the Salvaged Axe, and I'm kind of under the impression that this is going to do between 18 to 21,000 subscribers. I do believe that's a lot. Now listen, if you bought one of those for yourself, by all means, hey, that was a treat for yourself. I hope you're enjoying it. What I'm concerned about is investments. One purchase is not an investment. 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, that's an investment. And that's why I always sit here and say, wait till next Wednesday, let's get those abnormal barders done first, then we'll make considerations if we want to jump in and make a purchase. I say it so much, I hope it's in your head. Himmick, let's see if you make a collection continuation from here. So, Ice Pick, regular tools, I'm looking forward to it. Got to keep an eye on his workshop though. So, understood, all good. We'll leave it be. Gothic Veil Sheet Metal Double Door. I like it. I hope you liked the short video. I got some quite nice music to go with it. Oh, yes. And as I said, with the proposed crypt building skin, that should most likely be Alpha May Force Wipe. I think that's going to pair up very nicely with this. Now, can I also point out the skin creator has already made a single sheet metal door. This has been out for a week now. So, okay. Well, alright then. We already have the potential to see a brand new collection on the horizon. Will they make a garage door, a wooden door, an armoured door? Who knows? But at the very least, we already have this. We'll face punch, race to get that accepted as soon as possible. We'll see. But how much is the double door likely going to sell by next Thursday, first of all? Sorry about my nose, it's playing tricks. Oh. Right, so hopping back over to here. I can confirm to you it had just under 8,000 subscribers. And I thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and compare to Naval Camo Tier 3 armor. So let's go ahead and do just that. And sorry about my nose. Oh. So looking at this, we can see that these reached about 16,600 and 16,400 subscribers. Well, I reckon the sheet metal double door, with it sitting here at just over 11,400 subscribers right now, I reckon that's going to probably do between 16 to 18,000 subscribers. And if we were to go ahead and compare to all the other sheet metal double doors, at least for this year, that's not too bad. In fact, look at them. Both of them are doing good. And that was given away for free. And then all of these, oh wow, last year's skins are doing A-okay, except that one. That's a bit unfortunate. Okay. All right. Sheet metal double doors are looking pretty reliable. Holiday ones are a bit questionable, but of course, that is certainly not a holiday themed skin, is it? In my predictions video, the first skin I said in terms of what potentially is the best investment for the week, I did say the sheet metal double door. It does look very appealing. It does look very nice. I just can't help but assume people are probably going to really appreciate that in the future. And if we do have a collection continuation, if it does line up very nicely with the crypt building skin, oh, even better. Even better. So, okay, cool. So, right, if that's going to do between 16 to 18,000, I don't see that much as a... I honestly don't see it as much of a problem. I think that might be a pretty interesting thing. So, keep an eye out. And again, if you already bought one for yourself, hey, I hope you appreciate it. Right, Jackhammer. To be honest with you, I think we might just follow this. Basically, in terms of like what sold very close to the Jackhammer, I had a look around and I just thought, well, you know what? I don't think there's anything that really compares to this very nicely. So I thought, well, we could just look at what will happen, what happened here, go a fair bit lower. So, okay. My consideration was basically looking at what happened with the armor here. I think we could probably just lower it down by 1,000. I reckon the Abyss Jackhammer is going to probably do between 15 to 17,000 subscribers. Sorry about the lack of a comparison. It was awkward. So anyway, Abyss Collection. This is in demand. This is doing good. And right now it's April. When we go through July and August, I can't help but assume all the skins we see here in the red might be climbing back up again. All right? Just a hunch. I've seen this happen before in the past. Abyss Collection is an in-demand collection, and when times were good previously, yes, the skins have done very nice. Jackhammers, though. It is the focused item of the month, and we are expecting another one next week and a week after that. And there very likely might be an instance where we have two Jackhammers in the same rust store. Well, that might be a bit awkward, wouldn't it? So, basically, there's competition very soon. But this has a very strong backing behind it. Now, you might sit there and say, look at the previous tools, though. True. But you know what? Here's the funny thing. These are only down by a third. Only. The standard tool skins usually go down by, at least half their price. So they're actually performing better compared to standard tools. Anyway, this right here. How much are you likely to sell? Well, if I've said 15 to 17,000 subscribers, let's just look at all the Jackhammers and look at them based on subscriber counts. So I can confirm to you, we've seen them go pretty absurd before. But if we're probably expecting it to end up around here, well, to be honest with you, there's not that many skins overall. But still, there are expected to be more options. I honestly wouldn't be surprised that this suffers initially, but as time goes on, it actually recovers and improves as time goes on. Sorry, I hiccuped. Right, anyway, so yes, that's not looking too bad. I would have faith with that. It'll work out eventually, and I have to bring that up again on Wednesday. Now, let's see if it actually matches up to the expectation of 15 to 17. I'll be keeping an eye on you. So, all right, cool. Now, I'm going to pair up the MP5, the bed, the rug, and the wooden door. As you can see here right now, almost 8,500, almost 8,300, just over 8,000, and of course, just under 7,750. So, let's go over to here. Yes. What does this look like after the first 24 hours of sales? 5,800, almost 5,800, almost 5,700, and almost 5,500. What are we going to compare to? Well, I thought we could go ahead and look at the tempered SKS and the, Protector Armored Double Door. So where's the Protector Armored Double Door? There you are. Yep, 5,400, 5,200. Let's go ahead and take a look at you. Right then. So over to here, I'm looking for the SKS. Well, there's the Protector Armored Double Door, just under 13,000 subscribers. And over to here, surely, yep, just over 13,000 subscribers. So around 13,000 subscribers. Looking at the current sales, considerations will be made. I reckon Popstar MP5, Worthless Papers Bed, Cozy Cage Rug, and Flamebearer Wooden Door, you're probably going to do between 11 to 13,000 subscribers. That's not really that much, is it? No. But could these skins actually work out quite nicely with that amount of sales? Popstar Collection. Well, with the arrival of the MP5, I have noticed that the AK-47 and the Thompson have had a nice boost. In fact, I think the SARS also had a bit of a boost as well. The more we see of this collection, the better it does. Now, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a leak. I've seen things. This collection, the things that are about to appear for it, it's going to get weird. What are you implying, Hedge? When you see what happens, and it's not this weekend, but it's down the line, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be very happy with what they see, and there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be very upset with what they see, and it's going to be absolute wonderful chaos. And I sincerely hope what we're about to see gets accepted. Oh, what's in about? Whoa. Anyway, I think that MP5 is perfectly fine where it's at. If it were to end up with between 11 to 13,000 subscribers, it actually might be the lowest selling weapon skin. It could end up with less than the M249. It's an in-demand collection. It is steadily improving at the moment. As we get closer and closer to July and August, I do believe we'll see all of this in the positive again. I think the MP5 will be amongst that. Now, of course, I should point out it doesn't have like a transparent aim sight. It's not pay to win. It's anime. Anime versus pay to win. Oh. I think that'll hold. I think they actually do pretty good. It's not selling ridiculously. I think that's in a pretty good spot. But take a quick look at the recent MP5 skins and you'll see, yeah, not exactly everything's A-OK. Not exactly everything is perfect. But you do see instances where these MP5s are actually in demand, staying in the positive. I think Popstar will just about hang around its Rust or price. I could see it working out quite all right, especially when times are good. So, all right. Not too high, ridiculous sales certainly will help you out. But do you like it? Are you a fan of it? I did ask about an SKS next. I thought that might be a pretty cool idea. But no, we're expecting a sheet metal door. But that's not the very silly thing I was insinuating. So keep an eye on the workshop. You're going to see some very interesting things. So yes. Now with the Worthless Papers bed, $3. That's a pretty funny looking bed though, isn't it? It also glows in the dark, which is also quite handy. But is that actually going to hold? Sorry, I hit my thing there. Breaking Bad reference, yes. Sleeping on a pile of money, yes. One guy said in my chat when I was looking at it, it should have been a bed of scrap. Can this get turned into a collection though? That's a good question. In fact, I'd actually question him about that. If it's worthless paper, time to make a furnace to burn it. I forgot I said that. You're right, but I need time. Sandbox stole my idea. Oh, stole my time. Sorry. But face punch on Sandbox. Don't worry. I read that too quickly. Anyway, so yeah, I guess we're probably going to see a furnace of some sort. Is it going to be a regular furnace or an electric furnace? Oh, anyway. Well, actually, no, it had to be a regular furnace because electric furnace doesn't use wood. Anyway, focusing. So, Worthless Papers. I'll be keeping an eye on you. 11 to 13,000 subscribers. That's fairly grounded. But how many more beds are we going to see this year? I can't help but assume we're going to see quite a lot more, especially as we get closer and closer to October time. Don't forget, October 2025 is when we saw the first ever skinnable bed, or rather, bed skins. Yeah. We've already got 30. In fact, I think we have more. 31. Ooh. Look at how many we have. Look at how many of them are in the positive. It's not a pretty sight, is it? But good times lead to more beds in the positive. We did see that around January time, so okay, cool. Cozy Cage Rug. This is the only skin that's not abnormal. It's a perfectly fine decorative piece. I did actually ask, if you're going to do garden things, because, well, say hello to the gnome. Say hello to the garden gnome furnace. I did say, you know what? I mean, why not consider making like a chair and table? I know I said that with wrought iron, but if this guy specifically wants to make garden things, you need an outdoor table and chairs. Yep, and other stuff too. Sweet. Right, well, I guess we're looking forward to that then. So, yep, keep an eye out for Mr. MNML. I can say it correctly. Yep, I'm sure I can. See what they produce next. We already have a sequel right there. We very likely might be seeing a pretty interesting summer garden set, and I think people will appreciate that. So, all right, cool. Is it going to easily resemble this? Is it going to be easy to notice it's all the same collection? Well, that'll be up for discussion. Let's see what's made next, then we'll talk more about that. I think a rug at standard price, not selling too ridiculously, should work out. It should work out. Again, you might question this and that. I mean, that's only down slightly. That doesn't even look like a rug. I think that could be okay. Yeah. All right, we'll see how things pan out. Quite a lot of the rugs that have appeared over the years are in the positive. So, all right, cool. And Flame Bearer wooden door. I reckon this could easily get turned into a door collection. It looks cool. I think it'll be a garage door next. Sweet. Yep. I'm looking forward to it then. I do believe a wooden double door probably would make quite a lot more sense. 2 torches, 2 doors. I'm just saying, you know, that'd be cool. But wooden doors in general, you know how it is. This could hardly sell anything. It'll probably still go down in price, which is quite a shame. Yeah, but I don't think I need to explain myself. You can see it with your own eyes. Ooh, yeah, sorry to say, but yeah, even with collections after it, collection continuations after it, still the most likely outcome is yeah, sorry. So yeah, Flamebearer wooden door. Keep an eye out for that. It might be all right, but it's rare to see a wooden door actually manage to retain its price, let alone actually be in the positive. Let's now talk about the locker. Pirate Sword locker. You're doing pretty good. 5,500 subscribers. We have seen 4 lockers already so far this year. We have still quite a lot of the rest of this year to go through. Last year we did see quite a lot of lockers, but you will notice they're doing pretty good. Now I should remind you, these were down pretty bad. The only reason these 2 are doing good at the moment is because Silver Spooks made that very helpful video showcasing how they can be utilised on boats and whatnot. So if you were to ignore these 2, we'd only have barely a few in the positive, and then go back even further in the past. You've only got so many skins that are actually in the positive. So I am a little bit concerned how many we see this year. If we stop here, if we don't see another locker after this very likely could work out quite all right. But at the very least, Hedge, come on. How much is it likely to sell by next Thursday? Almost 4,000 subscribers here. I thought, you know what? Let's go back to the past a little bit. Let's go ahead and compare to the apotheosis of Warbed. All right, let's go ahead and do just that. So let's go back to March 26th. And I can see this did just barely over 9,000 subscribers. Right, so, then hop back over here and look at you again. You know what? I reckon that's going to do between 8,000 to 9,000 subscribers. I don't think that's absurd. It would be one of the lowest selling skins this year, but then again, that still only did 9,300. This still only did 7,200. They're not looking very pretty. Their designs are A-okay. Their sales and prices, that's the problem. Again, if we keep seeing more and more and more and more lockers, that's the problem. I can't tell you what it's going to be like from here and now, but I do see quite a lot of lockers being submitted every now and then on the workshop. I will sit here and say I do see that happening. So, well, I don't think that's going to stop. I reckon we're probably going to see at least another 3 or 4 lockers this year. Is that a problem? Well, lack of sales here. It's not selling too ridiculously. But to be honest with you, we've already seen it happen already this year twice. If you're not fully behind it, if you're not a fan of the rustic pirate themes and whatnot, maybe just stick with a barda. So I'll talk more about that on Wednesday night. Of course, we'll see the sales by then and we'll make a consideration. But I think it still looks cool. And if you bought that for your boat, hope you enjoy it. Protector Barbecue. Well, 4,500 subscribers so far. It is a collection continuation. It's not exactly a... a full proper collection, I guess you could say. We kind of dabbled into weapons for a bit, then we went back to doors. Now we've got this deplorable. I know there was an attempt for a furnace in the past. Will we see other deplorables getting a focus? We'll see. But let's go ahead and question what you're going to do. How much you'd like to sell by next Thursday? We're sitting here at 3,100 subscribers after the first 24 hours of sales. And, well, I thought, you know what? We could just go back and look at another interesting looking barbecue. Yep. Twisted Metal Barbecue, 2,900 subscribers almost. Well, I can confirm that barbecue didn't really sell that much. Let's go over to here and take a look. And I can confirm to you that did just barely over 7,000 subscribers. I have reason to believe our current barbecue, that of course being Protector, I reckon that's going to do between 7,000 to 8,000 subscribers. I really wouldn't be surprised if we're going to end up in a very similar position like we see at the Twisted Metal Barbecue. Fairly down in price. We have already seen Wrought Iron Barbecue and Twisted Metal Barbecue as metallic designs for a barbecue. This is another one. The collection isn't exactly sturdy. well, what I'm saying is, whilst these doors are doing pretty okay, that's not a door. That's a barbecue. How often do you skin your barbecue? How often do you actually have a barbecue? Now, some of you might be in big groups, fair enough. Who's cooking? But, like, I don't think the majority of people are eagerly trying to get, like, a barbecue set up. I would imagine they're going to use sheet metal double doors and sheet metal doors and garage doors. True, yeah. They're going to appreciate the transparency they have. Yeah, sure, yeah. I don't think the transparency in a barbecue is going to make that much of a difference. So, okay, cool. We get the point. So, yeah, that's it. Don't forget, the suggested final sales will be listed in the description. So for each chapter where we talk about the skin, with it, it'll have the estimates. So, all right, cool. That's nice. Let's talk about some other things then. So, of course, I'm keeping an eye on the workshop. We have seen some other skins being produced. Do not forget, we're not going to see an electric furnace skin in a Rust store until May Force Wipe, okay? So whilst you might see these interesting designs, not yet. Not yet. But you can sit there and go, wow, look at that. And neon furnace, yep, part of the same collection from the neon storages, the garage doors and whatnot, cool. And twisted metal electric furnace. Wow, look at that. Right, so that's looking pretty sweet. Player count today was actually pretty good. We're actually slightly above in comparison to March at the moment, but we do still have like an extra 2-ish weeks left. So I would have reason to believe we'll be very similar to the average player count for March, which honestly, that's much better than what we saw last year. This year, 2026 for Rust, we actually might see the average player count for each month manage to stay above 100,000. That would be a big surprise. And that would go to show, technically speaking, Rust is still growing. So, all right. April doesn't seem so bad. And, of course, if you saw like the difference of prices like a month ago and now, whilst they're better, in theory, prices should only be improving from here now as well. So, okay, cool. Things are lining up quite nicely. Things are improving. Not going to complain. Have you got all your Twitch drops? Have you seen all of the Twitch drops yet? You know? Don't forget, I do have a video on YouTube showcasing all of them. All you got to do is just go over to here. April Twitch drops, skin showcase, burnt peanut themed skins. All 4 of them are general drops. Not too hard to just go over to here. Skip ahead to the skin that you're curious about. You get the idea. Cool. The sleeping bag does appear to be pretty interesting. Like, you could consider it as a nice option for desert camouflage. Then again, it's not like the most perfect option. I did actually put out a short video today. I compared it with the Desert Stone sleeping bag. With all due respect, Desert Stone does appear to be a little bit better. But that's been given away for absolutely free. Desert Stone costs $2. So I'm just saying. So, all right, cool. So I think we've pretty much got everything said, everything that you need to be aware of. I've gone over, so that's cool. Anything else at all? Well, we'll sit here and say keep an eye on the commits. You never know what things they might be working on in the lead up to the end of this month. Because, of course, we want to be aware of what's actually coming out for May Force Wipe. I don't think Industrial DLC is going to be ready for May. I believe that's going to be for June. Maybe even July. We'll see. And, with the, what component did I accidentally talk about? Anyway. So, yep, that's fine. We're going to see an electric furnace, a large furnace, an auto turret, some shelves, all industrial themed, all industrial skinned. What does it look like, though? We don't know yet. But keep an eye out. Shadowfrax very likely might have that. Hey, Protox on Twitter very likely might have that soon enough as well. So we're probably going to see the designs soon enough, hopefully. So, all right, cool. So, yeah, don't forget, you could go to micro522.com, which is listed in the description. If you don't want to go ahead and make your own Waldoonaald list in the workshop, just go here, hover over all the skins that you see. Don't forget, if you want to see all the newer skins, click date submitted once. Now you see all the newest ones. Metamorphosis Tier 3, Bone Box, Barracuda MP5. Yeah, we've got some pretty interesting designs there. Yeah. Oh, wait. Hello. It appears a version 2 of Apotheosis War Garage Door has appeared. Well then. Oh, well, there you go. So, keep an eye on the workshop. Interesting designs are appearing. What would you say? Would you like to see the Garage Door being accepted? Are you a fan? Well, I'll wait and see what happens next. And that's a wrap. So, thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Best luck to each and every single one of you. And, of course, with your investments. And, yeah, let's see what potentially gets accepted in the future. Have a good one. Catch you later. See you. Goodbye.